So one of the biggest parts to trading is making sure that you're going into your day with the right ideas. So today we're going to be going over how to make a pre-market plan. What's up, you guys? It's Keith from Stock Hours here, back again with another educational video. I hope you guys are having a good week so far. And today we're going to be covering, like I said, one of the most important parts of starting your day, which is making your pre-market plan. So there's a few things that we need to cover whenever making a pre-market plan, and we're going to touch on those first. So we are actually not going to cover charting in this video because we have so many on this channel that already talk about it. I'll put a few links in the description to our other charting videos and a video covering all of the chart patterns we look at as well. First off, you're obviously going to need to know how to chart. Once you get that part down, you're going to go through your entire watch list, and what you're going to want to do is find these levels that you really like, and you're going to want to pick your favorite ones for the day. Generally, those levels are going to be the ones that you find on larger time frames or ones that have set up over a larger amount of time than just pre-market. We don't always like to play just pre-market lows and pre-market highs. Sometimes that is the case though, where the only setups we'll have is just a pre-market low or pre-market high. Anyways, you're going to want to find these setups that are, first of all, made on a larger time frame or made over a larger course of time. And then second of all, you're going to want to categorize them by how close they actually are to your level. You're going to want to find your favorite setups, and then the next step would be find the ones that are closest to your level. And then what I like to do is start off my list by what do I like best and what's closest. So let's say my favorite setup is still far away. It's not going to be the very top one on my watch list. This would be put into a category that I call side watches. So we're going to have our main watches and we're going to have our side watches. So in our main watch list, we're going to find the setups that we like the best and put them towards the top. Because when we put these setups that are close to our level towards the top, those are going to be the ones that we focused on most. So making your pre-market plan is not always just about finding the levels. You also want to find your price targets, or the target that you're looking at for the trade to hit for you to exit the trade. In your plan, you always want to have an exit strategy, one for your take profit and one for your stop loss. What we're going to do is we're going to pull up a little notes list down here, and I actually do this every single Wednesday night on the channel in a live stream. But what I'm going to do is write out an example of what I would want to see for my pre-market plans. So if you guys see, I have the scratch pad pulled up, and I generally like to do this on a piece of paper and have a notebook next to me because then that occupies less room on my computer. But regardless, so we're gonna just completely make up a trade idea, right? So I'm gonna put 1, 2, and 3 underneath my stock. I personally don't do this, and I will just abbreviate it and write it into the plan. But just so you guys get the concept, let's say we are looking at Tesla, and then I will have line 1, I will have line 2, and I will have line 3 right here. So in line 1, we're first of all going to put what the key level is and why we like it. So in this example, let's say we are looking at the 100 break to the downside. And I also like to categorize my trades and make sure that I know whether we're taking these to the upside or downside. What I will usually do is just recolor the name of the stock to red or green. So whenever I see that the market is overall moving down, I can just look at my watch list and see which ones do I have to the downside. So in this case, I will have Tesla to the downside. So let's say we're looking at the 100 break to the downside on Tesla. And then we're going to write the reasoning behind why we like that level. It is a flat bottom along with a psychological level. So we have two reasons why we like this. It's a flat bottom along with the psychological level. And then you can also clarify what time frame did you find this on. So in this case, let's say we found it on the 4 hour. So this means we found this trade on a larger time frame, which means it is a great setup for us to look at. And then we're also going to specify any other time frames that it looks really good on. So let's say we take a look at the 1 hour and it looks really good on the 1 hour too. So I would put found on the 4 hour and then /1 hour. So that is our reasoning for liking this level. The next thing that we're gonna wanna have is where we are planning to enter the trade. So we're planning to enter at 100, but let's say pre-market, we set up and we have a H pattern going into our key level here. So I'm planning to enter, let's say our H pattern formed at $100.15. So planning to enter at $100.15 at the H pattern. All right, so we have our entry right here. Entry at $100.15. Our main level is 100 to the downside. And then number 3, we're actually gonna write another one down here. All right, so number 3, we're going to have our targets and our reasoning for our targets. Now, let's keep in mind, this is a completely made up scenario. This is not real numbers for Tesla, but we are just writing out the plan for where we would have targets. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to look for other supports that are past my current level. So anything below 100, I'm looking for supports past that level. So I like to use other supports or resistances that are past my level in order to create my price targets for the stock. So let's say below 100, our next support level is at $99.45. So that means the next place that this stock is going past 100, we have room to $99.45. That means this stock should have room to basically free fall until we get to the point where we're at $99.45. So I would write down here, targeting 99.45 support. And what I also like to do is have multiple targets for my trades. So this may be a level that I scale out of, but it might not be my final target. So I will say targeting $99.45 support. And then let's say we have a trend below this as well that is at $99.20. So the next target that I would have would be $99.20. So then I'll write targeting 99.45 support, then 99.20. We would write down whatever time frame we find this trend on. So in this case, let's say it's on the 30-minute. So targeting 99.45 support, then 99.20 30-minute downtrend. And then on something like this, I would probably just put my final target as the next whole number. So I would be overall targeting the 99 break. So after this point in time, we have targeting 99.45 support, then 99.20 30-minute downtrend, then 99 break. And now we need to write down what kind of a stop loss are we going to have on this. Now, depending on your skill level of trading, I would generally say for complete beginners, it would be cool to just target a 10% stop loss. But if you're a bit more advanced and you can read price action and you're actually solid with reading level 2, time and sales, strength and weakness, then that would be where I would say you should probably target a level on the stock as a stop loss versus just doing a percentage. So we're going to go ahead and just say you are planning to have a 10% stop loss on this. So planning to have a 10% max stop loss. This is a perfect example of what you would want to write down for a trade idea. You've got your reasoning behind liking the trade, your entry level, your exit targets for profit, and your exit target for a stop loss. Now, let's go ahead and apply this to an actual stock here. So we're gonna go through my watch list real quick and see if I can find anything. Okay, so actually going through my watch list, I guess I should have probably done that before I used Tesla as an example, because we actually do have a level that we can look at for Tesla. So we'll go ahead and just actually chart out Tesla real quick and write down the trade idea based off of where we're at on the stock. So looking here on the 1 hour, you can see we've got a support here at 245.80. So that will be where I go ahead and mark my level. So 245.80, all good. And then we will work our way down the time frames to see if there's any good spot for a early entry on this. And looking at it, we have another support here at 246.18. I'll go ahead and put a level there. And personally, this 247.20, it could be used, but also that one's far enough away that I would not want to be in the trade that early before we get to the level. All right, so we've got our level, and then our reasoning for liking this level is because we're in a consolidation and we have a flat bottom at 245.80. So the next thing I'm going to do is go and check and see if there's any supports past this level that I can use as a target. So the next support that I'm seeing here is actually at 242.79 on this candle. So we got our target level here. I would say this is actually a bit wide for a realistic trade, but we can just use it for an example. And then once again, I'll go through and I'll check for any trends that might line up with this level as well to be a good target. And I'm not currently seeing any. So that means we've basically just got our entry level, our reasoning for entry, and our target on this. So I'll go ahead and actually just move this down because, again, it is a made-up scenario. But this one is for real. So Tesla, and then I'll write my 1, 2, 3, and 4. And like I said, you don't have to write all these out like this, but it is showing you the 4 steps that you kind of need to actually make this trade idea full and complete. So that's the reason I'm leaving them here. So Tesla, looking at the 245.80 flat bottom to the downside. And then the reasoning once again is going to be it is also in a 4-hour consolidation. And then so whenever I write down it's also in a 4-hour consolidation, that kind of clarifies that I got it from the 4-hour. So next we're moving on to our entry level that we're planning on entering at, and that is the support right here at 246.18. So I can go a bit more in depth on this. So planning to enter at 246.18. So this is where you can really also explain how you're planning on entering the trade. Are you going to scale in, or are you just going to get the full position? So in this case, planning to enter at 246.18 with half position and add the rest at the 245.80 level. All right, and then number 3, gonna look for our targets. So my first target on this would obviously just be 245. And then this one's actually going to be pretty simple. So I'm just going to keep the targets as 245, 244, and then 242.79. So targeting 245, and the reasoning for that is a psychological level, 244, then the next support at 242.79. And then this is where I'm going to look for my stop loss. So I'm going to go through here and see where has this stock bounced off of multiple times. Basically, how much room should I give this to, first of all, give it a comfortable range to be stopped out in, but also not get us out too late or too early. So where I'm looking at here for a stop, my stop on this would actually probably just be a pushback into the 246.80 to 247 range, because that's not too far away from our entry level to where it's gonna, be a huge percentage stop loss, but it also gives us the breathing room that we need. So that right there would be my stop loss. So also knowing what your stop loss is based on your targets is going to tell you, how heavy should you go into this position. So stop loss will be a push back into the 246.80 to 270 range. So there we go. We've got our real life trade idea here for Tesla. It's to the downside. We've got all 4 of our steps that we need to have here. And that is how you make a solid pre-market plan for your trades. And I would definitely recommend doing this every day. Once again, you don't have to break it down this much. You can kind of abbreviate all this stuff and get it done in one line, but I really wanted to break apart each piece of this puzzle so you guys have a full, solid plan. Like I said, if you don't have a plan for your entry or a plan for your exit, you should not be taking the trade. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you guys out. If you guys are interested in trying out stock hours, make sure you click that first link in the description and join the free Wednesdays every single week. And also make sure you're at the Wednesday night live charting sessions every single week on this channel. So once again, hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.